The Doctor is known for their non-violent solutions, but this deck subverts that, includes every Doctor, and aims to smack people in the face with them. See, despite printing lots of interesting cards, they didn't print any 5-colour commander that you could put all of the Doctors into. Yet one other commander lets us do this while also synergizing with an army of Doctors. That is Jodah the Unifier. Their presence on the battlefield means that when the Doctor's powers combine, they get to hit very hard, all while finding each other whenever you cast a spell. Now, disclaimer, this deck is not the most competitive Jodah deck. I've still built it to be functional, but I'm only including cards from the Doctor Who decks besides the commander, and a few pieces to improve our 5-colour mana base. I've stuck to as many Doctor Who themed sources of mana fixing as possible, which might need to change with further testing, but it's a good starting point. So what do we include? Well, of course we start with the 15 Doctors. And from there, I've picked my combination of my favourite legends and ones that fit well from the set. Any legendary with a low mana value makes it in regardless, so as soon as Jodah comes in, it can take advantage of the power boost. Some cards like Tegan and Sarah that are low mana value even synergize really well. Beyond that, anything with evasion or haste or trample is a shoo-in to make extra use of that Jodah power. I wanted to include every Time Lord, but the Master Renew, Remainer 2 and the Veilguard do basically nothing in this deck, so I draw the line there. Still, every other Time Lord makes it in, and a whole host of companions from across the run, as well as some other legendaries that synergize really well, such as Alistair the Brigadier. There's less to talk about in the specific card choices here overall, as it's just Doctors and letting them fly. With Jodah, the individual cards don't even matter that much. That isn't to say we don't have some powerful legendaries to choose from though, despite putting flavour before power. Martha and K-Knight can make our massive creatures unblockable. Perry and Susan can ramp us early and still attack well with Jodah. Brian and Sally offer us card advantage to keep the cards coming, and the Master multiplied by himself with Jodah represents 30 damage even without the Cascade trigger. For our artifacts, we're almost entirely focused on shoring up our dodgy 5-colour mana base. We do get a half dozen Doctor Who themed options that tap for any colour, and of course our trusty TARDIS. Hero's Podium doubles up on our commander's effect and can refill our hand in a pinch. I've included 2 non-Who cards here to shore up the mana base due to their insane legendary synergy. Relic of Legends and Timeless Lotus, both of which help our mana a lot, and Lotus even gives us a legendary Cascade trigger from Jodah. For Insects and Sorceries, we get access to Farseek and Cultivate for much needed fixing, as well as some interaction with Path and Swords that we thankfully cannot cascade into from Jodah. Heroic Intervention is a great print to protect our board that equally we're not going to find by accident. Search for Tomorrow does exist as an option, but I don't want this moment in my deck personally. Finally, for our enchantments, Gallifrey Stance acts as a good catch-up tool if we get board wiped, and thanks to our 15 Doctors, its alternate win condition isn't an entirely far-fetched dream. And finally, the land base is, well, a mess, as while the Doctor Who precons have a better mana base than most prior commander decks, they aren't set up to support 5-colour. I've included as many of the good ones as I can, one of each basic land, and a few non-Who cards to bolster our chances of, well, casting spells. Ancient Cigarette, Great Hall of the Citadel, Plaza of Heroes, and the World Tree give us some more flexible casting options, and we still have access to Command Tower and Path of Ancestry on theme. Beyond that, the mana base is a big ball of wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff that really might struggle to cast things on time, but if you don't enjoy a Doctor-based mana base, go grab your Shocks, Triomes, and Fetches and enjoy. And that's it! It's really just shoving the legendaries from the Doctor Who decks together and seeing what happens with Jodah. But I have one last card to mention. See, in this deck, what is Jodah but an honorary Doctor? I see the card as the power of the Doctor together. And what is a Doctor without a companion? Yes, Gigantha isn't from Doctor Who, but none of the Doctor Who legends are double pipped, so it's free, and getting a companion is thematic. So that's our secret 101st card for the deck. Thanks for watching.
That was absolutely brilliant.